This shouldn't just be a comment or a description addendum. I feel like this is something I need to address in video form. And no one came to me in the comments or on my Twitter about this. This is something that, due to my own realizations, I feel that I should talk about. So, hello everyone. I'm here to talk about my last video because after its upload, I found some information that recontextualizes stuff a bit, and I want to make this video addressing what that is because, the lens of hindsight, I might look like I'm policing Shadow Ruff's actually justified anger towards OG Scout. As a memory refresh, the point I'm specifically referring to in that previous video was in regards to Shadowruff's double standards, saying that it's not good to use anger as a form of comedy, and then going on to have several skits in his video focused on being angry at people. Now, this wasn't just towards OG Scout, but he's the one who's relevant here. My point was that if you're making a rule of commentary that you cannot be angry at your target, then you should lead by your own example. However, knowing what I know now about OG Scout, I now understand Shadowruff's rage. Originally, I couldn't find much about this OG Scout person because his channel was deleted, so as far as I was aware, as Shadowruff's video didn't give me any context, he was just someone Shadowruff didn't like. Maybe it was something along the lines of his anger at Keyblade for his pot shot, but it wasn't that. After my video's upload, I found a commentary done by Barrelcord on a video by OG Scout. This was when I could finally see what may have caused Shadowruff's rage. Trigger warnings for mentions of suicidal ideation and denial of someone's ideation. I'll leave a link to Barrel's video in the description, as that's currently the only way I got OG Scout's video. And now onto what's actually in it. OG Scout's video came out after Tony Sonic and Destroyer Shy had made good with their drama, and it is a purely destructive video, putting it lightly. He says stuff with absolutely no evidence, so it's basically libel, but what's most notable is that OG Scout makes a claim that because DS didn't kill himself, that means he wasn't suicidal and was instead sympathy baiting.
I was in a seaver with him during that time. It was a server by the user Blaze the Movie Fan, and he tried to wiggle his way out by treating to off myself. Now that end of it, self is pathetic, but to make matters better, nobody believed he would and would. You look at that, he's still alive and kicking. It's very telling he did all that just to come off as sympathy baiting and mocking those who do have those issues. It's honestly amazing how he's still around when he gives so little of a shit about facing the music.
OG Scout proceeds to double down later in his video, telling Destroyer Shy to kill himself.
Destroyer Shy, if you truly feel that way, then do it. Stop talking about it and just do the community a favor and just leave. You're nothing more than a joke to them. He'll just disappear for a few days and then come back and act like nothing has happened. I know some of you will say, well, maybe he's depressed, and to that I say, sure, slugger. But that doesn't really matter since he's shown no signs of it, and even then, he's nobody special. He's replaceable with no real talent outside of being a joke.
Needless to say, as someone who struggles with mental health issues and is friends with a lot of people who do as well, I now understand why Shadowruff was so angry at OG Scout, because this guy is a truly disgusting person. There's being ignorant, and then there's whatever this shit is. And I wish that I had known about what he had done, because I would have addressed that in my video. And I'd like to do so now. I don't really care about the double standards anymore in regards to OG Scout. Shadowruff has every right to be mad at him and express that rage in his video. However, I do still think the execution of it was poor. Shadowruff made no attempt to inform his audience of what OG Scout had done. Even his previous video on OG Scout doesn't give much information, as just further showing Shadowruff's ire. At the end of the day, a presenter's job is to give their audience needed context for whatever situation they're talking about, and Shadowruff didn't. Now, I would also like to address, as someone who did make a video, I should have made myself aware. While I did look for OG Scout's video, I could not find his channel or the original video since his channel was deleted, as I mentioned previously. I stopped my search there as I was hesitant to look at third-party sources, but I should have done my due diligence and looked further. And I think that's a good lesson for me to learn. I'm going to talk about a situation involving drama, and I'm putting drama in fairly loose terms because this feels a lot more serious of a situation than just drama. But even if I don't want to address that drama because it may have nothing to do with what I want to say in my video, I should make myself aware of this information. I don't want to cover drama. However, I didn't realize OG Scout was probably connected to something that I should have made myself more aware of in the context of the video, because to me, it recontextualizes Shadowruff's anger. I do still believe that Shadowruff should lead by example. However, when it comes to OG Scout, I feel if he had explained to his audience what the situation was, then I would have given him a pass in regards to OG Scout, but not Keyblade. While some things have come out about him as well, they weren't relevant to the situation, as Shadowruff was only getting onto Keyblade for a pot shot in the video, and those skits of being angry at him shouldn't have been the video, as it's just Shadowruff having double standards. And overall, Keyblade was just irrelevant to the video. There's also the "Do you function" directed at Emil, along with the mention of needing to see a doctor for tone deafness, or maybe just deafness, which was what Shadowruff said wasn't appropriate either. I think that's everything regarding this whole mess. TLDR, I realized in hindsight it may have seemed like I could have been defending OG Scout. However, that was not my intention, as I was unaware of the circumstances, and I don't want to police Shadowruff's emotions either. OG Scout is a disgusting person, and Shadowruff has every right to be angry at him. I just found the execution to be lacking. Anyway, that's my addendum. I won't be remaking or disowning my previous video as I feel it can still stand as is, but I wanted to address where I was unaware for the sake of transparency. Onwards to more lighthearted stuff. Have a good day, everyone.